Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by A.G. Hines Company, year in and year out for more than 10 decades. Yes, I said that right, 10 decades. The Hines family have provided the cutting-edge building materials and top-flight tools to people all across East Tennessee, from professional builders to do-it-yourselfers. Visit A.G. Hines Company this week. All right, let's welcome in the next wave of panelists. Chuck Cavaleras, who forgot his jacket. You'll be fined for that. Thanks for being here, Chuck. Josh Ward. Josh, thank you. Bob Hodge, thank you. And Will, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to be here.
Going to save a little time here. We're not going to worry about worst coaching move. I just want to know who the best player on the field was yesterday. I think I know who it is, but you guys tell me if you're going in the same direction. Who was the best player on the field yesterday? Bob Hodge.
It was Joe Milton. And I think Joe Milton finally played the game. A lot of people thought that he would play on a regular basis. He looked more decisive. His passes were on target. And he would have been even better if he would have gotten help from his receiving core, which has been a problem off and on all during the season. But yesterday I thought it was Joe Milton.
Let me go ahead and put up some numbers here of Mr. Milton if we can. Don't know if you can get that, Chris, our director. There it is. So there you see what he did yesterday. We'll talk about that. Chuck, who was the player of the game?
No, obviously Joe Milton. I mean, accounted for 6 touchdowns. Looked like, and that was his first 300-yard game. That was surprising to me. I thought there would have been one before now. I know he got close. But the command that he seemed to have and being able to deliver the ball where it needed to go, and you can say it was Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But still, they were the guys out there on scholarship.
Well, he wasn't overthrowing guys, and he was hitting with Josh, the one stat that stands out to me there that we haven't seen this year, that I pointed out earlier in the year, it was way too low a number. Yards per pass, up to 11.6 yesterday. You've been down around 7, 6 earlier this year. That doesn't get it done in this offense. You got to get up there. Yesterday was what I thought we expected, what a lot of people expected, as Bob said, from this offense. If it just rolls over from Hooker to Milton, I think that's what it would have looked like, but we didn't get that this year.
Yeah, he delivered the ball down the field. First touchdown of the game to Ramel Keaton. That was an example of, okay, their DB's not able to keep up with Ramel. But Joe made some throws, a couple of them that were either dropped or could have been caught. That those are throws on tape that you send to the next level and say, look at what I can do. And it doesn't matter who's on defense. It's about what his physical ability is. So, yeah, I mean, he was close to perfect in terms of what they asked him to do against Vanderbilt.
Will, you agree he was the best player on the field?
I do, but I wanted to give a second mention for Jalen Wright, just because, I mean, a guy that averaged 7.4 yards over the season. Per carry. 1,000-yard plus rusher, got that yesterday. To me, if I just said talent-wise, if I'm an NFL scout, who's the best player on the field? That guy's my best player on the field.
And we're going to have a segment later where we take a look at some of the guys that could come back if they wanted to and who UT should be having the NIL dollars for. They spent wisely last year in getting Jalen Wright to come back. As you said, first 1,000-yard rusher at Tennessee since Jalen Hurd in 2015. I think we talked about it earlier in the year that if he had played – and here's the thing, there wasn't a huge drop-off from him to the other backs. They were good too. But if he had played in a different era, I think Jalen Wright's name goes down along with some of the greats in Tennessee history. I just think his style of running, he's got the speed. He doesn't look like a guy who should be able to carry the pile, and he does that at least once a game.
And one thing too, John, career-wise, isn't he like around 2,300 yards now? So he has a chance to be up there with the very best. And he's a home run hitter when you hand off the ball.
And if he was in a different era, he'd probably be getting 5, 6, 7 more carries a game. And if you didn't have guys behind him that were pretty good, he'd be getting more carries per game. So yeah, I think he's been a very underrated career while he's been here.
Squirrel White, I wanted to mention him yesterday because it's one of the weirdest days. 10 catches, 110 yards. Maybe the worst 10-catch, 110-yard day I've ever seen because he had a fumble, he had multiple drops. I mean, look, congratulations on what he did. Receivers drop balls, it happens. But I thought he yesterday kind of embodied what we've seen from this receiving core all year. 1 minute it's like, there you go, that's what we expected. And the next minute it's like, he didn't come up with that one. Didn't hold on to that one. I just thought he kind of embodied everything yesterday. Am I being unfair in that one?
No, I think you're being very fair with that. I think your receiving core has been disappointing, and I think that that game kind of showed you exactly what you just said. Man, look at that. Oh, he dropped it.
I think we need to check the replay on that, and then I'll get back to you and see whether it was a fumble or whether it was a touchdown the other way or whether his knee was down. I mean, I don't think I've seen anybody that early in the game have met that many plays that seemed, what was that, you know?
Had a hard time catching hold on the football yesterday.
Right.
Anything you want to throw in? Any other players that we need to throw out here quickly?
Yeah, seniors had a good day. I mean, the tight ends had a big day. Ramel, who had an injury we'll learn more about after the game to start the season, he had a tough start, had a good finish.
And also, Jimmy mentioned it in the first segment, but kudos to the offensive linemen who wound up out there. You had guys, you wound up playing guys who are usually the guys who fake the injury after the extra point. You were actually playing yesterday. That's how deep you got on the offensive line. All right, when we come back, it's the Stoll Train. Mike and the VFLs will tell you which position groups improved the most and the least over the last 3 months. Come on back on the Sports Source.